here. It is time for Vlogmas. I'm so excited. So this is the first year I'm going to try this. And doing all my research online, because you know I'm a researcher, they were basically saying if you're not monetized on YouTube, there is absolutely no point in doing a Vlogmas. Just post once a week and carry on as normal. However, as you guys all know, not everything is about money, right? At least it shouldn't be. And so I'm looking at this as more of a kind of a personal challenge. I told you before in another video that I'm not a super holiday person. Like, I don't go gaga over like Christmas shopping and Christmas decorations and making special cookies and all of that. But the thing that I really like about this time of year is I see it as a chance for a reset. A lot of people are like, January 1st, that's the new year. That's the time to make plans and goals and resolutions. But it's not, because it's a month away. Now is the time to make changes. So I always love this time of year to get organized, to kind of think ahead to my plans for next year. And I don't know, it just makes me really excited for something fresh. And of course, it's Advent knitting time. So you guys have seen my kind of, I don't want to say struggles, but my journey with my Advent box from last year. And I think I had filmed all of it. I don't think I even bothered to post it because I just wasn't totally happy with the finished product. The Sweet Georgia box was great. It was fine. They delivered what they said they were going to deliver, but it really wasn't my cup of tea. So I almost didn't try this year, but we're going to go for it. Advent time. So let's start with the planning. So I already planned for what I was going to make. I do know that according to the box, I haven't opened it, so I don't know anything, but according to the box, the Magpie Fibers collection does come with a shawl pattern. Now, I feel like I was burned a little bit last year with not liking the shawl pattern from Sweet Georgia Fiber. Or Yarns, whatever, Sweet Georgia. I always forget, I need to actually look. I think it's just Sweet Georgia. I don't think it has a word after it, because I still have the wrapper for the box over there. Anyway, the pattern was well written, it was well done, it went with the yarns. I think I ran short on yarn, just like on one section, but like that much, which could have been, to be fair, user error. So, whatever. Had no problem with that, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So I wanted to pick out Advent patterns this year that I knew I was going to like the pattern ahead of time, regardless of the colors of yarns. Even if the yarns were hideous, I would still enjoy the patterns. And I wanted patterns that were easy, they were really relaxing, easy to memorize, and I didn't want to be messing with anything too complicated. And I'm like really into chevrons right now. I haven't made anything with a chevron in ages, and I don't know, that seems like fun. So here's what we have going on. So today is gonna be cast on, and I have, like I said, two boxes. I have my Hedgehog fibers and my Magpie fibers right here. So I had gone online. I had Advent patterns that I had saved in my Ravelry favorites list. Knitty Natty came out with a video a couple of days ago. Maybe it was just yesterday. I can't remember what day it was. With some recommended patterns. She also on Ravelry has like a bundle page where she's put like a bunch of Advent kind of knits. Crystal T Knits has a bunch. Amba O'Brien has a bunch. Who did I just find last night? Oh, and I can't remember their name. There's somebody else I found that I really liked. I'll put it in if I look it up and I can remember who it was. And even though it's time for cast on, and if you haven't already picked your pattern, you're a little bit behind, it doesn't matter, you know. I actually did my Advent last year in January, which worked out really great because it was past like the holiday season, so I had time to actually sit down and knit every day, and it felt really relaxing and not like a chore. I want to challenge this year though, so no January Advents for me. Or maybe, I don't know, we'll probably finish them in January anyway. What was going with that? Oh, so you don't have to feel obligated to start on day one. You don't have to feel obligated to actually knit up your yarn every day. There's a lot of people who just buy the box and do their little unboxing every day, and they're excited about their yarn. I've seen people take like a rod, like a wooden rod or whatever, and then slide all their Advent yarn on it, and so they could see like the whole rainbow. you know, you can wait until you have everything opened in order to choose your pattern even. When I did my Sweet Georgia one, I opened the yarn as I needed it. So there were some days where I would actually open 2 or 3 little packages because I was on a roll, and other days I had to skip that day because, you know, I just wasn't ready for it yet, and I wanted the surprise when I got there. So we'll see how this goes. I would love to be able to keep up with it every day, but I don't know, we'll find out. Hedgehog Fibers is just a yarn box, and so there are 24 mini skeins. I'm assuming they're 20 grams each, with one each day. The other box from Magpie Fibers is actually a solstice calendar, so it only has 21 days of goodies, but it's not just yarn. It has 12 mini skeins, 1 full skein, and then surprises. So what I'm thinking is that the Hedgehog Fibers can be like my daily knitting. Like I've got to. My goal is to finish that color for the day. And then for Magpie Fibers, I know there's going to be days where I don't get yarn, that I'm going to get a little other surprise instead. And so that gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I could probably shake the box and try to see if there's yarn inside of it or not to know where my knitting has to go. So the patterns that I have picked out. So for my Hedgehog Fibers, I am going to go with the Advent Tina shawl by Katrin Schubert. Again, all these are up on Ravelry. It's pretty much like a long rectangle with like pointed ends, which kind of gives it that little bit of a chevron feel. And it looks like there's like, I don't know, I haven't looked that closely at the pattern yet, so I don't know if they're like true chevrons, but there's some shaping in it that gives you kind of that kind of wiggly look. I kind of messed up when I was planning this one, but it'll work out fine. I'm not even worried. But I was thinking that I needed the full 24 Advent plus a full skein. And so Hedgehog Fibers had posted a new pattern that was coming out December 1st to go along with their Advent for this year. And when someone asked them, are those the colors from the box, they were like, yeah. And I'm like, well, no, I just ruined that surprise. But because I thought that I needed an extra full skein for this shawl, I went on, kind of looked a little bit more closely at the colors in the picture that they released for their pattern, and went online and picked out a full skein. It's still on its way. It's nowhere near here yet, but I don't need it until the end, so I'm not super worried. However, I realized that I misread the fiber requirements. So what you actually need for this shawl is 23 20-gram mini skeins and then 1 100-gram. So you've got 24 colors. Color number 24 gets used twice. It gets used in a stripe and the little point left over at the end. So if you didn't want to buy an extra mini skein or an extra full skein, you could probably get away with just using the 24 colors from your box, but you would have to eliminate a stripe. I think you would just have to eliminate one. I didn't like that idea because the way it's set up with alternating kind of sections of lace and garter, and it was gonna bug me if that pattern was off. So I think what I'll end up doing is doing the 24 colors the way it's written, and then my full 25th color will go like as the last little piece on the end. Unless there's a stripe in the middle where I feel like it really fits and I really like it, I'll pop it in there. We'll just see what happens. I'm not really fussed by it. So yeah, or another option would be to cut down and make each individual stripe just a smidge shorter, and then use the scraps left over to do those last couple of sections, which could be a fun choice as well. And it would mess up the color scheme a little bit, but I feel like it'd be like visual interest, not like messed up, especially with a brand like Hedgehog, which is known to be very speckled, very variegated. I think it'll blend right in and it wouldn't be an issue. Because how the rows for this work, you basically cast on, you follow the instructions, and when you only have 1 to 2 grams of yarn left, you stop, add in your new yarn, stripe it a couple of rows, and then keep going until you only have 1 to 2 grams left for that. So I do have a scale that's sitting over there somewhere. I don't necessarily want to drag it around with me. I mean, I guess I could, but that's going to be tricky. I I think after the first couple of colors, I'll be able to eyeball like how much 1 to 2 grams is. So it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I'm not super fussed. And of course, after the first couple of colors, you can see how many like pattern rows you got in, and then you can just count and keep it consistent, which I think would probably be fine. Yes, I like that. I like that. So that's gonna be for my Hedgehog fibers. And then and I need a US size 4 needle for that one. Then my second advent, which is going to be for Magpie fibers, which has 12 mini skeins and 1 full skein. I'm gonna do the Granny Shawl by Sweater Freak, also on Ravelry. I love the name Sweater Freak, by the way. And that one is not written necessarily for all 4 mini skeins. This one needs 2 100-gram skeins in a color A and a color B. Most of the examples, it looks like color A and color B are really close in color, so it's really subtle and it almost looks like it's solid, but has just a little bit of visual interest, which I think is really cool. I like that. And then you can do it with 5 or 6 mini skeins. Either one works. So this was my thought. Magpie Fibers has 12 minis. I'm going to take 6 of the minis and do the 6 mini color version, okay? But that leaves me 6 extra minis. Provided that those are 20-gram minis, I'm hoping they are, 6 times 20 is 120 grams. That actually gives me more yarn than what the pattern calls for. Because what I'm going to do, and I think I have it all worked out, it's like a parallelogram, and it's got the colors, as you can see in the pictures, colors on both ends, and then like a big section of kind of plain in the middle where you're just striping the 2 similar colors. I love the look of like a contrasting like micro stripe sort of deal. So what I'm going to do is take the 100-gram skein and stripe it with the minis, and so you'll have one main color that carries through that section, but then the striped colors are going to change as you go, which I think is going to look great. I'm really excited about that. And I don't know if Magpie tends to do a lot of solids, so I'm not sure if this is going to be like a fade or if it's going to be like contrasting colors or whatever. So I'm excited to see how that comes out. Yeah, and then it also has sections of seed stitch, garter stitch, eyelets, all kinds of fun but really easy things once you memorize it. So what I did for my planning to make sure it all worked here in my notebook is I kind of figured out like how many rows were in each section and then assigned colors to it. Now in the main pattern, those 6 mini skeins they call for the color work on both ends are repeated. So you do like color 1 through color 6, and then on the other side, you do color 1 through 6, because you use the least amount of yarn on the first side because you start with color 1 where it's narrower. And then on the back side, you start again with color number 1 where it's wider because you're gonna need more yarn. And then I worked out in the middle how many rows I need to do for my striping in each color before I can cut and go on to the next color. Some of these have a lot of rows. I'm gonna have to kind of see how far my yarn goes in that middle section. I can make adjustments on the fly. That's not really a big deal at all. So I'm not worried about that now that I have a plan that I'm pretty sure is going to work out. The only tricky part is I need that full skein of yarn and a mini for the first section. So we're gonna open box number 1 today. And if that's not the full skein, it's a big box. We'll look at it in a second. I'm hoping it's the full skein. If that's not the full skein, I'm gonna have to like poke inside of each box without looking to find it. Yeah, so I might only be able, well, you know, we'll make a plan when we get there. Let's not worry about it before we get there. So I've already picked out my needles. So I've got my ChowGoo interchangeables, which I love. I did not use the little tool to lock them in place, so I'm hoping they don't come undone. But what I do if I'm like on the go and it comes undone, so it has the little hole right there that I don't know if you can see that. I'll take like a safety pin and I'll pop the safety pin through, and then I'll use that to turn. Usually bends your safety pin, but you know what, it works. So the first pattern, the one for Hedgehog fibers, needed a 4mm So smaller needle tip on the shorter cord, like how that worked. And then the 5mm that I just put on the longer cord, because it's what I had sitting around, is for the Magpie fibers. So I've got those ready to go. And then I also picked out a bag that makes me really happy. I kind of wish I had like a Christmas or holiday themed bag. And if I find something fun out, I might pick it up just for this. But I don't really have a lot of like holiday themed things because I tend to use things I like all year round. And sorry about that, my alarm went off on my phone. I thought I had turned that off, but whatever. Anyway, so people get a little judgy when you're using like a Christmas bag in like March or whatever. But I don't see the use of buying something that's like one use or like one time of year only. So I'm just picked out my favorite tote bag at the moment, which is this guy. I picked this tote bag. I mean, look how big that is. It's a great bag. I picked it up at the Frederick Fall Fiber Festival up in Frederick, Maryland. And it's from the Leicester Longwool Sheep Breeders Association, which, you know, working at Colonial Williamsburg, I love my Leicester Longwools. This is a picture of one of their rams. And isn't he handsome? Yeah. So anyway, I love this bag. And so I'm going to keep everything that I need for my knitting in here so it's easy to grab and go. It's a bag I love. It's going to be something that I'm excited to put my hands on every day. So let's get into it. Okay. The exciting part, the Hedgehog fibers. Beautiful box. Looks like this when she gets the sleeve off. And let's see if I can open it without spilling it. No, I can't. There we go. Oh, it's this way. So it's like this, in the fold in the middle, and you have all of your little boxes. All right, so if you have a Hedgehog fiber box and you haven't opened your first one yet, close your eyes and we will take a look. So here's the cute little box. I don't want to tear it because these are nice boxes. I think I made the joke before that you know you're an adult when you've got boxes that you can't throw away because they're really nice boxes. This is one of those. All right, that's what it looks like. Look how cute. So it's a potluck color, which I think is just their one of a kind, one-off sort of skeins, which I love. They're kind of potluck kits. I'm tempted, I don't know if I'll have enough yarn, but I'm tempted to do like some little kits for my last farmer's market thing of the year, but I haven't decided yet. So we got sock mini. So it looks like we are 20 grams, 80 meters, 90% merino wool and 10% nylon. It does say it's machine washable. I never wash a hand knit. I never put a hand knit in the washing machine. Oh my gosh, as you guys are like, you never wash your hand knits. Ew. No. Okay. Dry away from direct sunlight, made in Ireland. Look how pretty that color is. Let's go ahead and take this off. Now again, this is not a color that I would pick out for something. If I were making a shawl, I am making a shawl. If I had planned the colors to make a shawl, this is not a color that I would buy. But I feel like this is a great opportunity to use some colors that I wouldn't normally use. And I'm, again, just dying to try out this brand of yarn. So here's our skein. So we can see where the colors meet up. So we had kind of dark blue, we got speckles, we have some kind of light blue. It's the same color blue, but it looks like it's a little bit less concentrated, and some more speckles. And so we are going to get a little bit of striping because as you go around, you'll get your blue, you'll get your speckle, your blue, your speckle, your blue, your speckle. The stripy look's not my favorite, but I think with the way this is going to kind of go together, I think it's going to turn out really nice. And the fact that like it's not a hard stop between the colors, you get like a little bit of fading, the speckles aren't consistent all the way through the skein. I think it's going to turn out really nicely. So I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to wind it up in my ball winder. I could do it by hand, but I'm lazy. So I don't normally do 20 grams on the ball winder. I usually just do it by hand into a ball, but I'm going to try it out, see what happens. So we're going to set this to the side. This is our Magpie fibers. Put the box back in the calendar for our scraps. Oh, I forgot to say, I don't know how many scraps I'm gonna have left over from this project, especially since the Adventina shawl is kind of like knit until you're out of yarn, or yeah, knit until you're out of yarn. But I am dying to do the juniper cowl, which is a crocheted cowl. I haven't done a lot of crochet in fingering weight. I mean, I have before, but not a ton of it. And so I really want to try that out as having like a crocheted sample in the booth, because I do get a lot of people who come by and are like, I love your yarn. I love this color. I love how it feels, but I'm a crocheter and I don't crochet with fine yarns, which is a shame because you're missing out. So I really want to do the juniper cowl, and I'm hoping I have enough scraps left over to do that project. But my hopes are not high, so we'll see what happens. All right, so that is that. Magpie fibers. This came in a gigantic box because there are 3. I can't even reach the other one. 3 of these guys. Check that out. With 7 boxes in each one. Okay, so like I said, according to le package, there are 12 mini skeins. It's upside down, you can't read that. Let's try that again. There you go. So according to the package, 12 mini skeins, 1 full skein, 8 gifts from the Magpies, a knitting pattern download, and a crochet pattern download. So yes, that's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna set that to the side. Boom. Now look at the box. Look how cute those are. And so, like I said, the number 1 box is really big. And I couldn't imagine having like a yarn advent where the first day's something not yarn. But that seems like a really good box to put like a big skein in. So, fingers crossed. Look away if you don't want to see what's in the Magpie box. All right. I can't even get it out. Hold on. Okay. All right, it's lightweight. It sounds... Were you a kid when you were little who would like shake your presents to hear what's inside? I was not, because I was always worried about breaking what was inside. But I'm an adult now. I can shake my boxes. It sounds like yarn. Okay. I've been on a purple kick lately. Oh, it's not purple. It is purple. I don't know what color this is. Look at this. It's like, I don't know. It's like a really dark, purpley, navy-y sort of color. That's pretty. Oh, it's soft. I think, hate when they don't put like tags and stuff in. I think this is their like swanky sock base. I think that's what their like the description said when I bought it. Which that has cashmere and nylon, and it's like merino cashmere nylon, I think. But it is, I think it has a cashmere, and it's super soft. And I love, because it's hand-dyed yarn, obviously. They did a really nice job getting the dark color even, but there's some spots where it's hard to tell on camera. But in real life, you can see there's a few like ever so slightly like lighter spots, which it happens with hand-dyed yarn. I do it purposely with mine because I know it's gonna happen anyway. But I love the way that looks in a hand-knitted item, because it just gives a little bit of depth to it. But it is a really nice, even, dark, gorgeous color. So I'm super excited. So I'm glad they put it as the first day. Again, if anybody from Magpie Fibers is watching, I highly approve of your choice. This yarn is absolutely gorgeous and I'm loving it already. So because I got my full skein on the first day, that means my cast on today is gonna be really easy because it's 4 rows. Yeah, good times. All right, I'm gonna go wind this up and then I'll show you what the cakes look like when I'm all finished. All right, so I think I like these even more in cake form. Look how gorgeous that color is. And like, as I was winding it, it is so soft. It does have that 10% nylon in it, but with cashmere being such a delicate fiber, I don't think, like, you can't even really feel it. Like, look how, I can't get over how gorgeous that color is. I am so excited about that. And then look how pretty. So that's what that looks like in cake form. Oh, they actually kind of look cute together too. So really excited about that. I've just realized that my computer is at work, like my personal computer is at work, because I was uploading a video yesterday. And apparently the internet's faster there because it took like less than an hour where I had sat like overnight here. Anyway, so my computer's at work, which means I've got some paperwork I need to submit this morning and I don't have a computer to submit it on. So these and my needles are gonna go in my bag. I've got my patterns for my shawls downloaded on my phone. And so we're gonna head to work and hopefully at some point today, I'll have a few extra minutes like during a lunch break or something where I can cast these guys on. Yay! Merry Christmas. Merry That was a great start to the holiday season. So just went to our community holiday tree lighting. It always makes me nervous to see kids running around with lit candles and no adult supervision, but you know what? Whatever, nobody bursts into flames, that's fine. So I got a chance to cast on, I don't know if you can see, I want to focus. Well, it's not that exciting anyway. So cast on my Magpie Fibers Advent. This was all that I could do until I needed the next color to start striping in. So met that goal for today, all finished. All right, so here is what I have so far for my Hedgehog fibers. Not very far in, I was trying to knit in the dark and then I lost track of where I was. But it's just a really easy 2-row repeat. So I'm hoping as I establish the right side and the wrong side and where the increases are, that'll be really easy to knock this out. But yeah, have a lot left. So I've got maybe 40 minutes or so until my next task. So I'm probably gonna take a little bit of a break now because I've been working all stinking day. Maybe edit my video, do a little bit of knitting, and close out for the night. So thanks for joining me for day one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.